In this video, I will cover 4 main topics. First, I will dive into my personal experience with Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Then I will be addressing GameSpot's comparatively low score for Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and sharing my thoughts on their not so good review in the second part. In the third section, I will compare Spider-Man 2 with God of War Ragnarok and draw a conclusion about which game has an upper edge and why. The final fourth section is going to be a big topic and there is going to be a lot of debates on this one. I am going to talk about my personal game of the year till now, and this topic is going to be very interesting, so don't miss it, bros. So now let's dive into the first part of this video where I will share my experience with Spider-Man 2. I will discuss how I felt when I initially started the game and how my perspective has evolved after completing the main story and some side activities. But before diving into the details, let me tell you why Spider-Man 2 is such a massive hit. It's because this game never stops surprising you, whether through new gameplay features or the main storyline. Just when I thought I couldn't be more surprised, it kept exceeding my expectations again and again and again from the beginning till the end. That's why, in my opinion, it's one of the masterpieces of this year and it gave me an unforgettable gaming experience. Now let's get into the specifics of this remarkable game. I initially expected Spider-Man 2 to follow a similar path as its predecessor, that is Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man Miles Morales. However, the game from the starting itself defied my expectations by presenting an engaging and unexpected gameplay right from the beginning. Seeing both Spider-Mans take on Sandman right from the start with their impressive combat and cinematic play was undoubtedly excellent. The introduction was absolutely fantastic. I thought the game after the intro will get slow as usual, but quickly, without wasting any time, Spider-Man 2 started their way to the main story. I was really impressed with how Spider-Man 2 managed to handle both the Spider-Man storylines effectively. I liked how both Spider-Mans had their own personal challenges and how they struggle emotionally while trying to overcome them. The interaction between the important characters in Spider-Man 2 always felt good to watch. I was truly amazed by the moment when Peter and Harry reunited after a long time in Spider-Man 2. The way the game portrayed their emotions, relationships, and the blend of their past and presence was absolutely perfect, bro. Mary Jane's character has undergone a remarkable transformation, making her even cooler in the eyes of the audience. Her introduction riding a bullet showcased her newfound confidence and boldness. Throughout the game, her character gave a sense of maturity that was truly captivating, making her role in the story all the more intriguing and engaging. But I would love to say that Mary Jane in the Spider-Man 1 was way hotter than Mary Jane in the Spider-Man 2. Yeah, bros. I love the portrayal of the relationship between both the Spider-Man. It was executed perfectly. It's like Miles Morales is the little brother to Peter. They always are there for each other, but their relationship hit some rough patches along the way, leading to a deeply emotional reconnection later on. This well-thought portrayal of all important game character relationship add an extra layer of authenticity and emotional depth to the storyline, making it all the more endearing and relatable for the audience. Yeah, bro. The way they introduced the first antagonist in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, whose name is Kraven, is absolutely terrifying and strong. It set the tone for the character's formidable and threatening presence, promising intense and thrilling moments ahead. Spider-Man 2 cleverly peppered in glimpses of Kraven throughout the game, giving us a chance to dive deeper into the character's psyche and making the whole experience even more intriguing. It's an excellent way to build up the anticipation and understanding of the antagonist's role in the story. Now let's talk about the combat in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I was totally drawn into the combat system. It offers a range of new powers, skill upgrades, and gadgets to create, ensuring the gameplay stays exciting. I loved how seamlessly the game switches between both the Spider-Man, making the combat more engaging and also providing distinct fighting styles. Mary Jane's combat gameplay was a pleasant surprise to me in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. It is more stealthier and offers a unique experience as you are playing as a regular human without superpowers. Sneakily using electric shock on enemies felt great. They also sprinkle in small upgrades for Mary Jane's gameplay to keep it interesting. Some folks might claim that the combat in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 gets repetitive over time. However, I totally disagree because this game consistently introduces new powers and upgrades for both the Spider-Man. It's true that the regular smaller enemies tend to be the same quite often, which might give the impression of repetition, but for me it was more about facing those same regular enemies with my newly acquired or improved powers, and that remained quite addictive to me. But being a decent Souls-like gamer as well, combats were not that tough for me at the amazing difficulty in Spider-Man 2, but I really had an amazing addictive experience with the bosses and mini-bosses in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 because combats always don't need to be super tough to be enjoyable. It just need to be engaging and well executed. Engaging in 3-4 rounds of combat with the bosses and mini-bosses accompanied by captivating cinematics was mesmerizing and quite emotional to me, bros. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 literally excels in graphics. This is what 2023 game graphics should look like, and they have also provided 40 FPS gameplay at the highest graphics instead of 30 FPS, which is a really great feature, but I still personally prefer 60 FPS gameplay because the graphics doesn't downgrade so much at 60 FPS and the smooth FPS swinging and paragliding feels amazingly hot at 60 FPS, bros. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 has provided so many cool and different varieties variety of side activities and side quests to do. Though some side quests may not be that much pleasing, personally I only play side quests for upgrades in any game if it's necessary, otherwise I will pass. But they have provided cool side activities as well, which are really amazing. While roaming around the city for the main story missions, I love to stop by and do some side activities while progressing in order to get some tokens and technical parts for my upgrades. The good thing is that there are so many side activities available in Spider-Man 2, and you can find your favorite side activity to do while swinging around the city to get the upgrade items and keep yourself interested in doing the side activity as well. They also keep on adding other side activity as you progress through the main story like it was in old Spider-Man games. Personally, I love to do most of the side activities as they need small time and are quite engaging, bros. Now let's talk about one of the best aspects of Spider-Man 2, that is swinging through the city. In many games, moving around on foot, by horse or in a car is usually just okay. It's something we do while progressing through the missions in every game. Even in great games, the travel part can be pretty standard if you know what I mean. But in Spider-Man 2, it's a whole different story. All the main missions were engaging and exciting, and traveling all the time also felt absolutely amazing. This means that Spider-Man 2 keeps you giving dopamine hits without any pause, bro. They have made swinging through the city more entertaining by adding this fantastic skydiving feature. It's so cool that I never wanted to use fast travel. Now let's discuss the final element in this second section, which is Venom, the second antagonist of the game. At first I thought the Venom storyline in the Spider-Man 2 might follow a similar path to that what we have seen in the older Spider-Man movies. However, the way the game handles the entire Venom story is beyond expectations and quite unique. I was genuinely surprised by how things unfolded, especially with Venom powers, appearance, atmosphere, and overall portrayal. I felt the scary aura of Venom. Everything about Venom in this game is absolutely excellent and perfect and over the top, and I must say pleasantly unexpected, bro. I am not raving about Marvel's Spider-Man 2 just because it's a Spider-Man title and Spider-Man has always been our beloved childhood hero. No, I didn't go crazy over Spider-Man or Spider-Man Miles Morales. They were enjoyable but not outstanding to me. However, Spider-Man 2 completely succeeded all my expectations, and I genuinely believe it deserves at least a 90 to 95 out of 100. This game shows what a perfect game in 2023 should look like, bro. So now let's dive into the second part of this video, which is going to get a bit hot. GameSpot gave Spider-Man 2 an 80 by 100 score, and an 80 score to me means that the game is good but not excellent. GameSpot don't know how to give a proper review. If any game is an 80, GameSpot will give it 60, and if the game is like around 90 to 95, they will give it an 80. I am tired of their shitty reviews, bro. You can really watch my previous videos bitching about GameSpot review on other recent games as well, and I love to do that because GameSpots are a piece of shit. So now just let's take a look at what GameSpot have written about Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Let's just focus on what negative reviews they have given to Spider-Man 2. GameSpot's first negative point is some side missions are irritating busy work. Okay, well I want to ask from GameSpot, are they forcing you to do these side quests? You can also do small activities to level up which are engaging and take small time, and I don't think side quests matter much until they are forcing you to play these necessarily in a game in order to level up and then progress through the main story. That's why Spider-Man 2 has provided so many activities to engage in. I don't think cutting complete 10 points out of 100 on the basis of some side quests is worth it. Now let's see GameSpot's second negative review on Spider-Man 2. New areas don't create new types of gameplay, only more ground to cover. Let me elaborate to you about this statement. This statement is emphasizing that adding new locations or areas in a game doesn't necessarily introduce entirely new gameplay mechanics or experiences. Instead, it primarily increases the size or scope of the game world, which means more space for players to explore or traverse, but the core gameplay remains largely the same. What the fuck is this point? And now listen to this point carefully. You pick any games, let's say God of War Ragnarok or Resident Evil 4 Remake. In those games as well, mostly if you enter into any area, the gameplay is going to be quite same only. You would just get more ability and upgrades with more variety of different newer enemies, new bosses. Why are they separately pointing it in Spider-Man 2? I don't understand. What they are even saying is not totally true, as you get different abilities and skills and gadgets and even a lot of venomous power to make you feel different in combats when you get in different areas and progress more in the game. Here is another counter for GameSpot's second negative review. You play as 4 different characters as you progress, each with their own special powers and fighting styles. When you are Peter Parker, it's one vibe. Playing as Miles Morales gives a somewhat familiar vibe, but his unique abilities add a fresh twist to the experience. Mary Jane's gameplay is totally different, and taking on the role of Venom is a whole new experience. GameSpot's negative review on Marvel Spider-Man 2 clearly shows that they are just trying to reduce the number somehow, because as I already told you, GameSpots are just a piece of shit, bro. Let's now get into the more exciting section of the video, which is the third section of the video, in which I am concisely going to compare Spider-Man 2 and God of War Ragnarok, and I will try to give my personal point of view on which game has an upper edge over the other. I choose to compare Marvel's Spider-Man 2 separately with God of War Ragnarok because God of War Ragnarok was PS5 best achievement last year, and Spider-Man 2 is this year's PS5 best achievement. Yeah, God of War Ragnarok stands as one of my favorite games of all time. My time with it was truly fantastic. God of War Ragnarok excels in its combat system, and the transformation of Kratos from a hard-hearted fighter to an emotional father is an epic character development arc in its own right. The storyline in God of War Ragnarok was consistently compelling from start to finish, filled with delightful surprises. The antagonist and the other characters as well were really great in God of War Ragnarok. Completing the main story takes roughly around 25 hours and the game is top to bottom really great. On the other hand, Spider-Man 2 is also an outstanding game and I have already shared its positive aspects in the first part of this video. It certainly doesn't fall behind God of War Ragnarok. Spider-Man 2's main story takes about just 15 hours to complete, which is way shorter as compared to God of War Ragnarok 25 hours. But honestly, after finishing Spider-Man 2, I never once felt like it was only a 15-hour game. The continuous epic moments kept me engaged continuously throughout the game, making it feel almost magical and way longer. Not a single second in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 felt wasted in the main story. So here is the deal, bros. Both Spider-Man 2 and God of War Ragnarok excel in their respective genres. However, there is one drawback I noticed with God of War Ragnarok, and that is occasionally it felt like God of War Ragnarok slowed down a bit, perhaps trying to stretch itself unnecessarily. This feeling mostly occurred during certain segments with Atreus, and I found it a bit dull at times, even though I remained excited for what was to come. Don't get me wrong, bros, I have no hate for God of War Ragnarok. It's one of my favorite games, but Spider-Man 2 managed to create something even more enchanting thanks to its continuous non-stop moments of excitement. So in my view, Spider-Man 2 holds the upper hand, but I do love God of War Ragnarok as well. Keep in mind, this is my personal perspective and I'd love to hear your thoughts too. Please feel free to share why you prefer God of War Ragnarok over Spider-Man 2 or vice versa in the comment section. Yeah, bros. Now let's dive into the most exciting part of this video, the fourth part. In this part, I will share my personal game of the year and why it's earned that title. This year has seen the release of numerous big games and I have covered quite a few. Actually, I have played most of the spotlighted and hit titles this year. Here is the list of big games I have experienced this year: Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Dead Space Remake, Atomic Heart, Wulong Fallen Dynasty, Dead Island 2, Lies of P, Starfield, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Lord of the Fallen, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. I am aware there are some fantastic games missing from this list, such as Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The reason for this omission is that I don't have a Nintendo Switch and I am really sorry for that, guys, and there may be other titles I have overlooked as well. Nevertheless, let's focus on which game stands out as the best among these 13 that I have listed. I will count down my top 5 starting from number 5 and reveal my personal game of the year as number 1, bros. But before starting my top 5 games list this year, I wanted to say that this year has been an incredible for gamers across various genres and I feel fortunate enough to have lived through it. I am thankful for the opportunity to enjoy so many fantastic games. While not every game has been a massive hit and that's perfectly normal, what's important is that most of these games are truly amazing and some are even groundbreaking, offering a glimpse of what's in the store for the future of gaming. I'm genuinely excited for the games to yet to come and I think we should all appreciate our passion for gaming and the opportunity to experience these remarkable titles. And I'm really thankful to God and all the developers for making all this possible and that we are able to, just live into that. So let's start with the ranking stuff and moving on to the 5th spot in our list of 13 games, we have Hogwarts Legacy. This game truly immersed me in the magical world of Harry Potter with its unique and excellent combat system. What I also appreciated a lot about this game was its open world and its exploration. Traveling using your magic broom felt absolutely fantastic. The combat mechanics and magical abilities were top notch. The characters were good. However, the drawback I encountered was that the main story turned lengthy and it started feeling a bit dull as I progressed later. But I genuinely had a blast throughout the entire game and this game is a bit unique from other games as well. Now let's talk about the game at the 4th position on my list of 13 games, and the 4th position goes to Resident Evil 4 Remake. Yeah, this is a fantastic spine-chilling zombie game and the original was one of my childhood favorites. This remake is nothing short of excellent without a doubt. The entire game is remarkable and it's one of the best remakes out there of all time. They have faithfully recreated the original with stunning graphics. Personally, I can't find any drawbacks in this game. It's a flawless zombie horror action-packed experience with the main and side characters shining and the antagonist delivering outstanding performances. The game's exploration, combat and the horrifying atmosphere always felt spot on, bro. Moving on to the game with the 3rd position, and the 3rd spot goes to Lies of P. Yeah, this game is an unexpectedly amazing Souls-like game that truly deserves its place in the top 3 this year. The combat in this game is hands down the best of the year. The weapons were so cool, bro. The music and the game's atmosphere are breathtaking too. Lies of P features the best bosses and mini bosses of this year. It's the kind of game that it completely immerse me and make me forget the world for a while. I cannot easily find any drawback for this game. Now let's give a round of applause for the second best game this year, and in my opinion that is Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Yeah, this game is an absolute standout. I have never encountered a game that consistently delivered one amazing surprise after the another throughout the game. The combat, the thrill of traversing the world, the captivating characters, the music and the masterfully woven story, they were all nothing short of perfection. This is the kind of game that gamers of all genre could perfectly enjoy. This game is an absolute treasure in every sense. And now it's time to give a standing ovation to the number 1 game because it feels like this game has has arrived from the future, breaking all the boundaries. It takes me to a whole new fantasy world which felt so real to me. I had a 155-hour long journey with this game that felt like a continuous hallucinatory trip. This game offers boundless possibilities for how your story unfolds and lets you choose from a number of characters, and each character has their own main story, bro. It's a game that immerses you so deeply that you literally feel like you are inside it. Can you guess which game I'm talking about? It's none other than Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, bro. This is the epitome of an RPG, and if you haven't tried it yet, trust me, you are missing out on the year's biggest gaming gem. Yes. But I would also like to add here that if Marvel's Spider-Man 2 wins Game of the Year over Baldur's Gate 3, it would hurt me a bit, but I wouldn't hate that decision because Marvel's Spider-Man 2 has also done something above and beyond, and they have shown that even a 15-hour game can overpower. So no hate to anybody. Feel free to comment what you are feeling. What's your game of the year? Let's make it an open page where people can connect. I will be free to listen to you for anything, whatever you say about the games, which is your favorite games, you know, what you want me to hear, what you want to say to everybody. Let's make it very open and chill. Feel free to comment, bro. Feel free to comment. And love to all you guys from India, and I would like to greet all of you in my way, in my Indian way, that is brrrr. Oh my god, Chuck day. Have a great day, guys.